Thanks for joining us here on Arc Salt Lake. I'm Brian Cheney. It is Wednesday, November 12th. Tonight on Utah's Missing. She's been missing since Halloween night, and her dedicated family needs your help to bring her home. Last seen near Franklin Elementary School on Halloween night, 17-year-old Kaisha, or Kai Miller, lives in Salt Lake City with a foster family. For the last few days, we've been in contact with two of Kaisha's aunts and her grandmother. They live all over the country and are doing what they can from a distance. I spoke to one aunt, Sarah, who says Kaisha likes her foster family, has good friends, and showed no indication of plans to run away.
The last time I saw her has been a couple months, but I spoke to her on the phone on October 26th.
Now, does she have a history of running away or taking off or periods of no contact before this?
No, it's all very out of character, which is why we're so concerned.
Mood changes, anything that you've seen over the last couple of weeks or months that would reflect this sort of activity from her to leave?
No, so she's been doing really well, and she's in foster care, so the family that she's been with, she seemed to be happy with. When I last spoke, she was telling me how well she's doing in school, and she's doing nail tech classes and things like that. We were making plans for the future for her graduation and getting those pictures taken and stuff like that. So it doesn't seem like it was in character for her to have just up and ran away.
Kaisha is in the custody of the Utah foster care system. Her biological family sharing with us that although she has been with this foster family just for a short while in a new high school, Kaisha said she was happy and liked it there so far. Physical distance is not the only hurdle for Sarah in her search of her niece. It's tricky because the Salt Lake City investigator is required to report back to Kaisha's DCFS caseworker, who can then share information with both foster and biological family members. Has she had a hard time with, obviously being in the system makes things a little bit difficult, I imagine, but what are her friend groups like? Does she have a solid core of friends, or has it changed because of her situation and her living situation?
Yeah, so she just started school at a new high school in August, but it sounded like she had a good group of friends. We've reached out to many of them, and they've all been super supportive, super concerned about her, and they've been helping us try to create a timeline. And so, yeah, her friends seem like a good group of people that have been trying to help.
Obviously, teenagers are very active on social media. Was she active, and have you noticed a decline since she has not been seen?
She did have an Instagram account, and there's been no activity on there except for her friends did have her login information. So there has been activity as far as them posting things on her Instagram, trying to find her, but nothing from her.
Were they able to find any messages of anyone she was talking to that could lend you to think she may have gone with somebody?
No.
Due to statements from friends, police believe Kaisha was headed to the Area 51 nightclub that night. As you can see on this map, it's just a few blocks to the east of where she was last seen. Now, with the family being hours, if not states away, I asked her what we can do to help find Kaisha. What can the public do to keep an eye out for Kaisha and just try to bring some closure to this to get her back home? What can they do?
Yeah, if anybody sees pictures of her, please just share them around so that people know what she looks like. And just if you think you see someone that even looks remotely like her, please just call the Salt Lake City Police Department or DCFS intake phone number, just so that we can try to figure out where she's at, because it's been quite a while now. And like I said, it's just really out of character for her to not have reached out to any family members or friends. So we just really want to be able to find her. If Kaisha does see this, if she did happen to run away, we just want her to know that she's not in trouble. She can reach out to any of us. We just want to make sure that she's safe. She's been through a lot in her short amount of life. And so we just care a lot for her and want her back home.
Police telling me they're treating this as a runaway situation. 17-year-old Kaisha, or Kai Miller, roughly 5'6", has hazel eyes and dark brown hair. She was last seen in an all-black outfit from shoes to jacket and was wearing face paint. Again, it was Halloween night. If you have any information that can help find her. Please call the Salt Lake City Police Department with the number that you're seeing on your screen, 801-799-3000. It's been 166 days, over 6 months, since the now 16-year-old Kylie Ariano left her home in Garden City, Utah. Kylie would have begun 10th grade this year and turned 16 just last month. Kylie's mother says she's had no contact with her daughter since late May. Kylie's roughly 5'6", weighing roughly 115 pounds, chin-length brown hair, brown eyes, and black braces with tattoos. If you have any information on her whereabouts, contact the Rich County Sheriff's Office, leading the investigation, 435-793-2285, referencing case number 25R308. Kylie's mom says the best way you can help her family through this is through a GoFundMe that you can find on our website, KUTV.com. Foul play is suspected in the disappearance of a Utah woman last seen along the California coast. Investigators say 35-year-old Danielle Staley of Holladay, Utah, vanished nearly a week ago. Staley was last seen late on November 6th near Rio Del Mar State Beach. Detectives now believe foul play could be involved here. Staley is described as 5'6", 120 pounds, blonde hair. She was last seen wearing a dark hooded sweatshirt and leopard-print leggings. Investigators are looking for any surveillance footage from November 5th through November 7th that might help track her movements. I've been in touch with the Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Office in California investigating this case. They said they have had some tips come in. It's not clear if any of those tips have been via surveillance video. They also told me today that Danielle was traveling with someone, and that person has been cooperating with the investigation. For continued coverage on Utah's missing cases, be sure to join us Wednesdays, 7 o'clock, right here on ARC Salt Lake. We are dedicated to helping Utahns find answers or closure. Like always, you can reach out to me on social media. Many of you have taken advantage of that so we can share what is going on in your family or friend situations with missing loved ones. If you have a case you want us to look into, just reach out. Well, if you missed it yesterday, you were probably like me and stuck in a television studio with nothing but studio lights, but this is what it looked like outside for a lot of folks in Utah. I mean, a lot of people too. A little light pollution in Salt Lake City didn't lend us the best views perhaps, but man, if you lived in an area a little bit off the beaten path or maybe in a beautiful community up tucked in the mountains, you got to see this. Chris Williams just doing the good work here, sharing the northern lights, the aurora that could be seen for so many people all over the state. Now, I know last night the levels, Sean Kelly, seemed to be more favorable to see this. Do you think there's a chance
there still is a chance
we could see this maybe in far-reaching parts of northern Utah, friends in Tremont, for example?
This is kind of, it's a tough thing to forecast space weather. It's kind of a nowcasting event. I'm looking at some of the data here coming in. There's still an opportunity. It's still looking like it'll be intense. And again, you may be wondering, why does it seem like it's been more frequent here lately, right? This isn't kind of normal to see these events as far south in latitude. Well, we're actually at the peak of solar activity. It's an 11-year cycle. It lasts about 60 days. So again, take advantage of it while you can. We still have an opportunity this evening. Get outside and be patient because it could happen like that. That's how quick it could be. Also, we're starting to see some of those clouds clear out, so it's a possibility.
Well, last night's event was long-lasting. I mean, that was pretty unique, right? I mean, the cloud coverage really wasn't there. Man, we were seeing pictures as early as 6:30 last night after that sunset about an hour prior. And they were coming to us from right outside the Salt Lake area, just outside the city. And it wasn't as much for the folks with the naked eye as they were saying in the comments. Through the camera lens was doing a much better job at picking up the hues and the colors.
Yeah, and that's because that solar activity kind of hit us right in the late evening hours. The event today was kind of in the middle of the day, so we're kind of seeing kind of the downward trend of it as we get past sunset early this evening here. So still a possibility, but again, it's that energy that is emitted from the sun that moves towards the earth that kind of supercharges the aurora borealis here, or the northern lights, and extends it way further down south in latitude here, as far south as Texas yesterday. So I don't think it'll be that intense this evening, but again, the chance is still there through about midnight tonight. Get out of the city if you can. Look towards the north across the northern horizon, and you'll likely see at least some of those red shades, especially if you use your phone. So we're at 50 degrees right now here in Salt Lake City. We've got temperatures that'll be dipping down into the 40s overnight. Not much of a cool down, but still on the chilly side here. We've got rain chances that start to go way up. Not so much Friday. Friday's looking like a pretty small storm now, but it's into Sunday and Monday. Even after Monday into next week, things are looking pretty active here. Also dealing with the potential for some record-breaking heat and a big drop in the temperatures as we head into the weekend, even colder into next week. We'll let you know how cool coming up in my first alert weather forecast.
Sean, thank you very much. A base jump gone wrong. A man left dangling from a cliff in Grand County just outside of Moab. Coming up here on Ark Salt Lake, the dramatic rescue caught on camera. Well, a harrowing rescue tonight in the Cane Creek area of Grand County involving a base jumper. This is just outside of Moab. Thanks to Sheriff Jamison Wiggins for sharing some photos with me throughout the course of the afternoon here. 43-year-old man dangling precariously off the side of a cliff, clinging to his parachute after a jump. The DPS helicopter called in to help with the hoist to get the rescue crews down to the man. That was the folks from Classic Air Med who helped with the initial transport. And this was a pretty large-scale search and rescue operation. The good news, they got to him. So the search and rescue members were flown in there by that helicopter you see here with Classic Air Med. Then the DPS helicopter came in to pluck them all out. That includes not just the individual that needed the help, but all those rescue personnel that they brought down there on the cliffside. They were all taken out by that helicopter as well. The man was taken to a local hospital and we're told did suffer some injuries, just not sure the extent of those injuries. Mental health treatment and therapy center Crimson Heights in St. George can no longer take new patients after an employee was accused of injuring a client there. The Department of Health and Human Services released a notice of agency action to the facility, saying they failed to ensure the client was free from abuse. Our Samantha Hoffman is there to teach us the 7-step plan the facility immediately needs to follow in response to the incident.
A Department of Health and Human Services report says that in August, a staff member, quote, engaged in conduct that caused physical harm to a client, including multiple lacerations to the client's torso and a fractured elbow that required surgery. The response came after the client, who was developmentally delayed and dysregulated, asked for space and threw rocks at the staff member. The report states the staff member, instead of disengaging, restrained the client on landscaping rock. I left 2 messages with the center's receptionist last night and this morning, but they did not respond. When I went to the facility, a worker called the executive staff director and she said she could meet with me in St. George. But each time I called her, she did not respond and she did not show to the main office I was referred to. According to the Department of Health and Human Services standards, all congregate care programs have behavioral management techniques that are, quote, trauma-informed and appropriate for the client's age, behavior, needs, development. I reached out to the department with more questions on how they ensure this safe practice, but they are still working on answers. Some of my questions: how are behavioral health services monitored for best practice and how often? Have there been other incidents like this in the past? And given Crimson Heights now has a pause on new clients, how should prospective clients ensure they get the service they need? The facility will also have to notify all parents of clients and post on their website about these changes in the next few days. They have until the end of January before they can take new clients again. In St. George, Samantha Hoffman, KUTV 2 News.
Well, if you or someone you know is struggling with mental health, help is available. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute says you can start by calling or sending a text message to the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It's free. The number is 988. Well, we took advantage of the beautiful temperatures today.
Yeah.
We played a quick 9. Glad we did that. Got out on the golf course. No frost delay. It was perfect. Temperatures were right around 50 when we teed off around 9:30. So it was about as good as it gets.
I think
mid-November.
I think tomorrow is going to be as good as it gets. And in fact, this likely could be our last 70-degree day of the season.
Got to take advantage of it.
Got to take advantage of it because it's kind of, after tomorrow, the temperature's going down each and every day.
Which, if you're a skier or a rider or something, you like the seasons of change here, that is what you want to hear.
This time, it looks like it'll be consistent, too.
Well, we need that.
None of that up, going back up. So, yeah, we've got a series of cold fronts, a series of storms in the forecast, some colder temperatures as well. So it's about time, but before we get to the colder weather, we got to get through tomorrow first, and I want to make sure everyone is taking advantage of it. I mean, 70 degrees this time of year, kind of ridiculous, right? The normal for this time of year into the lower 50s. We're going to be well above that tomorrow, and even the next several days, really. It's going to be kind of slow going and pretty light in terms of those temperature drops each day, but still, we'll eventually get to the 50s by Sunday and then 40s by next week. We have to deal with some windy weather tomorrow across much of the western part of the state. 20 to 30 mile per hour wind gusts will be possible into Friday as well. Improving air quality, though, in the days ahead as we start to see some of that air get mixed out with those winds. So we've got a weak storm on Friday, really not a big deal. Another storm on Sunday into Monday, and then another one into Tuesday. Even behind the Tuesday storm, there's another storm. So what this means here, finally, more active weather. This is a full-on pattern change here from dry and warm to wet and chilly weather here in the forecast. For right now, a bit cloudy across the southeastern part of the state. Some drizzle out there. It's not even reaching the ground. Virga, we call it here, evaporating before it reaches the ground. Clearing skies up towards the north and west. Tomorrow, it'll be mainly sunny up and down the I-15 corridor, windy weather, a few sprinkles for your Friday. Saturday, dry, a few showers down towards the south and west. And then Sunday, here comes our storm. Our low will be moving in from the south and west, and that typically is kind of on the warmer side, so the snow levels will be high with some snow continuing into Sunday evening. But eventually, colder air will work its way in with that storm following it Monday into Tuesday, and that's when we could see those snow levels drop, and eventually we can maybe see some snow mixing in here across the valley floor. So hang in there. It's been a late arrival. It's been quite delayed for the most part here. We're at behind schedule, but we are seeing some really good signs here that things will change. So we're into the 40s and 30s as we head into the overnight. Highs tomorrow, upper 60s and near 70 degrees. St. George, you're looking at temperatures here cooling down as you head into the weekend into early next week. Across the Wasatch Front, we've got temperatures here that'll be into the 60s and then in the 50s by the weekend. Very active weather into next week, and yeah, look at that. Few opportunities for some snowflakes falling as well. Brian?
All right, Sean, thank you very much. Coming up here on Arc Salt Lake, veterans tee off for more than just a good time. The story behind the growing Veteran Golfers Association. Love to see it. A community spotlight tonight. The Veteran Golfers Association, VGA, hitting the links at the Ridge in West Valley. It was for their third annual VGA Veterans Day event. The group growing from 17 players just 2 years ago to 64 at this year's event.
Yeah, the VGA says the Ridge has helped grow their organization, whose goal is enriching the lives of veterans and their family members through golf.
Now, I want to just mention here, this was yesterday, and the Ridge right now is a topic of conversation because in a way, there's a level of uncertainty with the future of that golf course. And just a few weeks ago, almost a dozen people came out to the West Valley City Council meeting voicing their support in keeping the Ridge the way it is. And right now we understand they are conducting a survey to see what they want to do with that property. Before we go here, get ready for frenzy. Trader Joe's is selling canvas micro totes with a grocery bag inside for a limited time. These are always hot.
Right, the reusable tiny bags are about 4 inches by 3 inches in size, just big enough to carry your keys or spare change.
Well, you got to make sure you get out there